over the last six months, 7, 8, over the last year, my life has changed in ways that I don't think I could ever actually imagine, you know? And bro, it's like, seek the kingdom, and you are going to find what God has in store for you. And if anybody was ever asked me, Ryan, like, what's your one advice on becoming successful? Just find God first, bro. Because when you find God, you're going to find yourself. And when you find yourself, you're going to realize who you actually are. And when you realize who you actually are, you're going to realize what it is you can do with the life that you have been given. Because how many lives do we get? Because I've only gotten one so far. I don't know how many more are yet to come, but I've only had one so far. And the moment I found God, that's when everything started to work out for me. You know, I'm only 23. I'm going 24 next month. And I think life really is what you make it. It is what you make it. Nobody else is going to get up for you and do what you need to do. You know that. You know that. So why aren't you doing that? Right? Because the 9 times out of 10, everybody knows what they need to do. Right? But the difference between where you are now and where you want to go is actually doing what you have to do. And that's the only thing that's going to get you where you want to go. Because fulfillment in life, happiness in life, a man needs a purpose, bro. A man needs a purpose to actually get up every morning happy. Get up every morning like a man on a mission. And a man on a mission, that's a man that can't be stopped. With a purpose and a why, my purpose. When I started out my journey, right, I'm 23 from Ireland. And when I started out my journey, my purpose was simply to help my family, right? And my why was because I never wanted my brother to go and experience shit that I experienced in life. Now, look, I know there's so many people out there that have had it so much worse. And I know that. And I'm appreciative, I'm grateful that, you know, God has shielded me from things that other people have in life. You know, I'm grateful for food. I'm grateful for water. I'm grateful to have a bed with a blanket. I'm grateful to have a bed with a pillow. I'm grateful that my mother's healthy. I'm grateful that my brother's healthy. I'm grateful that I have beautiful people around me. I'm grateful that God lives in me, that God lives around me. I see him, I feel him, I hear him every day, right? But when you tie a purpose to a why, you're going to get fuel, right? And if you siphon that fuel into yourself, you can go so far. You can go so far. You can go as far as you can see possible. Right? Because the subconscious mind, it doesn't know the difference between reality and what you tell it. So if you can tell your subconscious mind what you're experiencing and what you want to experience, that will then drip down into your internal magnet. And that attracts either negative and positive. Because why? This world is a big ball of atoms. Everything is either negatively charged or positively charged, and a mixture of both. Right? So your internal magnet either attracts negative or positive, but that all starts with what? It starts with your conscious mind. How do you think? How do you speak? How do you feel? How do you perceive yourself to be? Because that's what channels into our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind, it knows the truth. You can't lie to it, bro. You cannot lie to your subconscious mind. You need to implement the daily steps to actually get there. And I'm not going to give you a big 10-step guru list. You need to dip your balls in ice. You need to make sure you're getting up every day at exactly 4:57 a.m. 22 seconds. It's not the case, bro. I'm talking about, how do you speak about yourself? How do you let outside things that happen in life control your emotions? Do you let that happen at all? Because like Marcus Aurelius said, you have control only over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and true strength is gained, right? So if Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, the founder of Stoicism, says this, what more do you need to hear, right? I went from sparking in Sweden, making, bro, I was doing 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks in Sweden 1 year ago, making $4,500 a month, to making $4,500 a day, to making nearly 10 grand days. And for me, look, I know a lot of people right now when they hear that, it's like, this dude, who does he think he is? Bro, I'm just a normal dude that's seen something possible. Right? I stepped into that identity now because I'm sure you've heard of the be, do, have. Right? Be, do, have. Not have, do, be. Once upon a time, I looked at content creation like, right, I'm going to wait till I go to Thailand. Have. Then I'm going to start making content. Do. And then I'm going to be a content creator that lives in Thailand that makes money online. Be. Have, do, be. Rewire that bitch. Be, do, have. I'm going to be the Ryan now. that's a content creator. I'm going to do the shit that he does do. I'm going to record content, I'm going to post it online, and I don't care what this world throws back at me. When I was in Sweden, bro, man, I was around people that didn't vibrate at the same frequency as me, and that's okay. Right? That's okay. There's nothing against those people. But in life, you are not always going to be around the right people, but don't let their vibrations bring yours down. Your vibration, your energy, your frequency is the most protected thing you should have. Don't let outside events control your emotions, your frequency, your vibration. Because at the end of the day, reality lags mental development. What I mean by mental development is, how do you see yourself? What do you say to yourself? How do you think about yourself? Do you always look at things through a negative lens or a positive lens, right? Because if your mental development keeps going up, reality has no choice but to catch up. And this is what happened with me. I found God. I seeked the kingdom, right? Ask and you will receive. I found God. I started living through God's lens. I started treating everybody like they were my brother or my sister, right? And I started to really step into who I wanted to be and who I always knew I could be, right? And then the world caught up with my mental development. That's why now I make nearly 30k a month. I've got a team of amazing people and life's only getting better, you know? And this is all down to God because, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, I can say it's God's plan, but God can create the door for you. You've got to go open that door. You know, the greater the storm, the greater the rainbow. I know we've all been through shit. Right? That's inevitable. Shit happens in life. But do you let that shit create you or do you let that shit break you, bro? Because at the end of the day, you're only down until you say you are. You know? You can wake up tomorrow and step into who you actually want to be. And you can choose to be the person you know you can be. Don't let that shit keep you down. And don't let it break you. Because at the end of the day, bro, God's given you the paper, God's given you the pen. It's up to you to write the story. So what do you want your story to say? You know? The beauty in this life is reality bends at our will. We get to choose what we think. We get to choose how we live. We get to choose what we do. You know? You can create your own reality. But you need to transform from the inside out. You need to rewire your whole operating process. And it's easier than you think. That's the good thing. Right? Step 1. Stop looking at yourself like you're not worthy. It took God 7 days to build this beautiful planet that we live on. The moon, the stars, the mountains, the oceans. Right? It took God 7 days. But it took God 9 months to create you. It took God 9 months to create you. And you're telling me that you're not destined for greatness. You're not worthy for greatness, bro. You've got it all twisted. You are worthy of the moon and the stars, but you're not moving like you are. You're not operating like you are. You're still falling victim to the same shit you've been falling victim for the last few years. You know? Like, I'm not going to come out here and say it was rocket science changing my life. It wasn't. I just had to realize what was holding me back and what could get me forward. I cut out what was holding me back and I started to do things that would bring me forward, right? Because even the word discomfort, it's an underexplored emotion. You know, how many situations have you put in your life where you've been uncomfortable? I started appointment setting early last year, right? Early 2025. And I'd say in my first 3 weeks of appointment setting, I made 550 quid, right? That day where I made 550 quid, I was on a building site in Sweden, GVX 12, looked that bitch up, right? I fell to my knees and I rang my mother and I rang my granny and I was like, I'm done, I have to quit. I can't let God show me a sign and not act on it. I can't, right? For the rest of that whole month, I made 100 quid. I made 750 quid in my first month appointment setting. I left Sweden with fuck all money in my account, right? But I did not let this stop me because be, do, have. As a businessman, as an entrepreneur, I take risks because I always count my blessings and I know what the chances are. The ball is in my court. I'm the one playing the game. I'm going to take a risk if it's on me. Why? Because I'm the best project I will ever work on. You are the best project that you will ever work on, right? You are precious. You are special. You are beautiful. You are a son of God. You walk in the light of the Lord. Right? Ask and you will receive. Romans 8:18. The pain you are feeling today is nothing in comparison to the joy that is coming tomorrow. Stop looking at yourself like you're not worthy. Stop not doing the things you need to do, right? And stop looking at everything through a negative lens. Yeah, man, we've all experienced shit. We have all experienced shit. If you're watching this video right now, you have a phone that has internet. Not everybody in the world has that. You have opportunity at your fingertips. It's 2026, bro. Tomorrow it's going to be 2030, right? The world is changing, right? This world is out to get you. It's not. Like this world right now, the devil has 97% control of this whole world that you see every day. How many people around you do you see that they always say it could be worse? They look at their situation and they say it could be worse. Bro, it could be better. Start operating like that. Start operating like you know it's going to be better. If you were so certain that tomorrow was going to be amazing, the next few months were going to be amazing, and you moved like they were, watch reality bend at your will, because you create it. I created this. I'm in Koh Phangan right now, an island off Thailand. Man, I'm from Mullingar in Ireland. Like, I used to smoke weed. I used to be on the nose beers. I used to do all that shit, bro. I used to all that shit, but I realized what the fuck was holding me back. And I stepped away from that. I stepped away from that because I knew my calling was higher. I was sick of that, and I know so many of you are sick of the same thing. Don't let the same repetition of bullshit actions keep you down. Keep your vibration low. Because if you want something in life, all there is energy. That's all there is to it. Match the vibration that your reality lives on, and you will get that reality. So, bro, lock in. Because life is short. Life can be beautiful. God will make that door, but you have to go and open it.